For reference, I am not a Sony hater or anything of the sort. I am just a fan who is incredibly worried about a company's actions as of late. I want to bring attention to those problems and hopefully change them for the best thanks to this video. Also, I'm gonna get very heated in this video, so if I go too far, I'm sorry. I don't necessarily mean it. Kind of. But, you know, it's not to those extreme extents. It's just a metaphor, you know. And if Sony is watching this, thanks to the stars alignments, I'm gonna be straight up with you. This is not a professional video, and if you want to jump straight to the point, TLDR is at the end. So with that out of the way, let's just start. Hello everyone, croutons on, yeah, blah blah blah. Sony is being a bunch of stupid dickbags. Now, this is a very unusual video if you know about my channel. The editing is going to be at a minimum, a first for me, so enjoy the DMC Devil May Cry gameplay in the back, all the while you're shitting your pants knowing that I'm enjoying my time. With the gameplay mostly. I won't do many videos like this, and I'm most likely gonna delete it once the issue passes, or after quite some time. Once I make a second channel, I'll re-upload it on there, so that way it won't be lost. Just letting you know. You don't have to re-upload my content. If you want some actually fun content to watch, there's the Marth Smasher Breakdown and the more recent Team Mamma Mia 2 that you may have missed. Go watch that instead for funsies. Either way, Sony has been doing some stupid shit lately, and as a fan of them, I want to bring these issues to light and hopefully make them rethink about their decisions. I don't have the biggest voice for this kind of stuff, but I still wanted to do something and show how much I want this company to head back in the right direction, especially when things were going smoothly, cause let's be fucking honest, Sony had that generation in the bag. They did, and they're just handing it over to Xbox and Nintendo on a gold platter because of those dumbass decisions. And before you say that what I'm doing is useless, I want to bring up how people were fucking pissed over the PS3 and PS Vita stores closing down, that they actually went back and thought about it, then announced that they weren't gonna do it, so that's really nice. In case you missed this whole situation, I'll just expand a tiny bit on that topic before diving into the actual stupidities that need fixing. Now, the problem we had with this was mostly for game preservation. There were so many games on PS3 and PS Vita that will never be able to be purchased ever again on more recent hardware. The Mega Man Legends series, for example, was one of them. After so much time we fought for this game to come out, it'd be stuck on there and never be able to be played ever again without requiring something like emulation. Also, a quick note about emulation, it's not illegal, just letting you know, alright? If you're tempted to, go ahead and do it for older games that companies aren't making any money out of. Like, we're talking PlayStation 2 and earlier consoles are fine. Try to avoid it if there's a digital way of doing it, like the Virtual Console. But if there's no other way, just do it. Don't be scared to be in legal pursuit just because you're playing an old game that no one is making any profit off of. Going back to the Vita stores and all that, some developers who made games for Vita, cause yeah, it still had support from certain companies, they had to rush their games out before the shops closed. Of course, now there's none of that deadline thingy, so you know, they have more time to just do their thing, so that's good, you know? So that brought some faith back into Sony, which is good, but keep watching cause you ain't off the hook just yet! Now let's get into the actual decisions that tickle my butthole a tiny bit. You know, the biggest issue that I have and the worst possible thing Sony has ever done in the history of mankind being distancing themselves from Japanese games by first off repurposing Japan studios. Those are the guys behind Gravity Rush, Parappa the Rapper, Knack, you know, shit like that. They want to repurpose them as the leader of the Astrobot series, which is fucking stupid. The Astrobot series is fine, this is not the problem. The problem is that so many game franchises are gonna go down the drain because of that. And when you take into account all the things Sony has been doing towards the Japanese side recently, you know, pieces of the puzzle kind of start coming together. A good example would be Nekopara. Yeah, I'm talking about that. This game is less censored on the Switch version. Nintendo, the family-friendly gaming company, being more hentai-friendly than the alpha male console. That's pathetic. So Sony wants to focus on the American market side of things, and as much as that may not sound like the worst idea ever, it just is. Do you know who fails miserably just because they're focusing on the American market with their consoles? Xbox. Japan has a huge impact on the gaming industry, and personally speaking, I think they make way better games than the American studios, where lately it's just been third-person action adventure games like God of War, Uncharted, and The Last of Us. Not saying these games are trash by any means, but I'd enjoy myself a lot more with either Yakuza or Persona than all three of these American games combined. Just a look at my game collection will tell you that I'm more into Japanese gaming than American gaming. So putting aside what made your company so popular in the first place is just a recipe for disaster. Now, also to really drive the point home on this one, the Japanese market is way more, let's say, non-casual. They don't play FIFA or Madden or any of the shitty EA games, and if you don't appeal to the Japanese market, you're good as gone or dead to them. We want to play Dragon Quest and Tales of and Capcom games and big anime titty Milker 5000. And if Sony says no to that, their sales are going to be cut in half. That's just how impactful the Japanese market is. Other factors, in case it seems like I didn't have enough evidence, their headquarters relocation from a very long time ago. PlayStation relocated from the Japan to the US, and ever since, they've been giving the cold shoulder to Japanese games like that One Piece part. I think they removed an entire scene from the game because it was a bathing scene. I completely forgot the details, but they've been super picky with anime titties recently, and nobody likes censorship. Whether it includes titties or not, censorships as a whole suck. And as I previously mentioned, the PS Vita store that was about to close, yeah, most developers working on Vita games are Japanese, so they clearly abandoned ship on Japan. Now Sony, please be more friendly towards the Eastern market. It's super important for us Americans as well as Japanese people. I want to have a reason to keep a PlayStation. It's my Persona, Yakuza, and Kingdom Hearts machine, okay? Thank you kindly. The next point I'll talk about is a problem that's on PS3, PS4, and according to some sources, the Series X also suffers from this problem, as well as the PS5. If you thought that PlayStation stores being taken down was bad, this is worse. In case you don't know, those consoles have what's called a CMOS internal battery, and according to some tech geniuses, they explain that basically, once that battery inside the console dies, the console becomes unusable, a literal plastic brick. And you may say, oh, but Mr. Crouton, you could just replace it and dabba-dee-doo, problem fixed. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. But here's the fucking catch, because of course there has to be one. If you replace the battery, the console will have to do some sort of server update or something, and if it cannot connect to those servers, the console cannot play digital or physical games. As long as those servers are up, everything's fine. But once they go down, and they will at some point, no more PS3, no more PS4, no more PS5. You getting pricked? Whoever designed this console is an absolute idiot. It's a big fucking issue, and it can't even be fixed. Basically, you're buying a product that will later become unusable, which I never thought would be possible in this case. This is insane to me. How did you think that such a flaw would be such a good idea on 2020 hardware? This is the absolute worst thing you could have ever done. And while I'm talking about their hardware, no other console has pissed me off more than the PS4. Oh my god. Here are some of the issues I've been having. First off, it would eject discs randomly. It had nothing to do with that side screw thingy that everyone keeps talking about, which is another flaw in and of itself. The actual reason it did this was because of the metal contact thing in the console. It was slightly bent the wrong way and it became too sensitive. So what you had to do was open the bottom part of the console and bend it back. And in case you were having that problem, I hope this helped you. Another thing is that the PS4 is so slow, even in the main menu, and I have the least demanding theme ever. I don't get it, how? But of course, the major problem on my PS4 is that it's so fucking loud. The cooling system is awful. I play Genshin Impact, and to be fair, I'm not sure whether it's just that the game is poorly optimized or the console sucks, Probably a mix of both if I'm honest. But my PS4 sounds like this! This is awful to play and worrisome. I hate playing on my PS4 because of how loud it is. And this is the reason why I want a PS5. It's a lot more quiet, the games load faster, and I get a better looking game as well. It just sounds like paradise, doesn't it? Which then leads to my next point. PlayStation 5 restocks. What the fuck, Sony and every other marketplace? Y'all suck. How do scalpers get away with this shit? And if you're a scalper yourself, here's a message for you from all of us, alright? Go fuck yourself. In 5 months, your shit is gonna be a total waste and you're gonna have to sell it for a lower price. You're ruining people's lives just for 100 more bucks into your Fortnite account? Get the fuck out of here. Unless it's a hyper limited product that is super rare those days. Like, we're talking Nintendo World Championship levels of rare, okay? $1 million spent on that would make 1,000,000 times more sense than getting a PS5 that's $750. Sony and online markets. Here's a little tip for you. Put a "I'm not a robot" thing, or just easier, put a limit to how many times an IP address or even actual addresses can purchase a PS5. You get less harassed, and we get our PS5s. It's a win-win. This last topic isn't fully confirmed as of yet, it's just some rumor, but either way, Last of Us getting a fucking remake! This pisses the shit out of me. Not the idea of a remake, I love remakes and remasters of old games, but for The Last of Us? Kiss my asshole and erase it from this plane of existence. Out of all the games ever created on planet Earth, The Last of Us does not need a remake or even a remaster. If anything, the only thing it would need is an upgrade like Final Fantasy VII Remake is getting later this year. You know, that whole integrate thing? Yeah, that's what The Last of Us Remake on PS4 should get. And before continuing on, I don't hate The Last of Us. I actually do think it's a really solid game and one of the strongest PS3 experiences. But I don't see the need of a remake when there's already a remaster on the PS4. And guess what? With PS5 backwards compatibility, you can play it and even upgrade it to 4K. That's all it should receive, nothing more. What really bothers people in this story, myself included, is the fact that Sony has so many franchises that are dead or dormant, and they're just riding that Last of Us pony like there's no fucking tomorrow. It's so stupid. Unless they leave that remake to some company who specializes in remakes, we'd be fine with it, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Games like Jak and Daxter being left in the shitter all the while they're jerking off with Uncharted and The Last of Us pisses the fuck out of us. We want more variety on PlayStation, which goes back to the first point. Don't get rid of games from Japanese developers. I don't see any benefits in gatekeeping anime games. Like, are PlayStation fans disgusted when they see an anime character or something? Well, actually, yeah, they do. But it's not gonna stop them from playing normal games, you know? What happened to Twisted Metal, Sly Cooper, Infamous, Ape Escape, fucking Heavenly Sword? Anyone remembers that game? I do. What I think Sony needs to do is hit on the nostalgia bone a bit, bring some old franchises people love, but unfortunately I'm not seeing that anywhere in the near future, all because of one thing. Now I hate putting the blame on one person, especially when there's no proof that it's just this one guy, but after seeing so many interviews, I just wonder if it's true. The man I'm referring to is none other than motherfucking Jim Ryan himself, ladies and gents, the new CEO of PlayStation ever since 2019. And I want you to hear this. The whole anime problems that I talked about earlier, it started around the time this dude stepped in, so shit is kinda sus. Among Us! Shut up, it's no time for jokes. In one of his interviews, this ignorant said, I was at a Gran Turismo event recently where they had PS1, PS2, PS3, and PS4 games. And the PS1 and PS2 games? They looked ancient. Like, why would anyone play this? Why would we, Jim? Huh? Probably because people like different types of games, that's why. And you ain't giving enough of that variety. Anyways, if you don't think like that anymore, Jim, let us know, okay? Do an interview with me and let's hear it out of your own mouth. That this was an old way of thinking, maybe you're a changed man, who knows? Next, and of course the most well-known quote of his regarding backwards compatibility. When we've dabbled with backwards compatibility, I can say it is one of those features that is much requested, but not actually used that much. Now, just letting you know, Jim, without any backwards compatibility on your PS5, let me tell you that sales would have been down the shitter, alright? Like goddamn, if the PS5 launched without backwards compatibility and you're stuck with Demon's Souls and nothing else, fucking yikes for the consumers. I want a PS5 because I can play PS4 games better, more smoothly, and without having any of those operation agents with their glow sticks crashing into my room because they thought an airplane was about to go off. I reached way too far for this metaphor, Jesus fuck. So to recap the whole thing, Sony stopped caring about the Eastern market, their consoles are a load of garbage, their restocking for the PS5 is horrendous, and they'd rather remake a game that doesn't deserve a remake rather than revive some of their old dormant franchises. So here's what I want to do. I want to bring all those problems to light to Sony, and I want them to fix the majority of it. I want them to kick ass this generation, okay? So open your favorite social media app, Twitter, and let's get the hashtag #FixPlayStation trending. Use that hashtag, do a little sentence regarding what you want changed at PlayStation. Hopefully it trends, and if it does, I'd be super happy, and I hope to God it works. If you watched the whole video, I sincerely love you. You're a great person. If you tweeted out #FixPlayStation and liked my tweet, you're awesome. And if you subscribe and watch my other videos, as well as follow me on Twitter, you're the best person all around, and I'll just join my Discord and tell me so that I'll thank you personally on there. I truly thank you for watching this. Have a good one, and as always, please, take care.